So I was going around different news outlets, gaming related news outlets, and I came across this on Games Radar. Not one, but two articles about Battlefield 5, so you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be good when the gaming press has something to say on it. And the first one, oh my god, this is so fantastic. Really, I think this perfectly shows how these ideologues have no clue what's going on, and they have a narrative in their head that's already pre-set up, and they stick to that no matter how much evidence to the contrary. So let's start with, I never imagined just how powerful it would feel to be playing as a woman in Battlefield 5. Yes, because there's no other games where you can play as a woman and feel powerful. Especially military shooters. Nope, none of those. The top says, ignore the haters playing as a woman. Battlefield 5 is better than I thought it would be. Yeah, okay. I didn't know a game gets better because, in a first-person game for playing as a woman. The concept of having female characters in Battlefield 5 has been a contentious one. When the game was first revealed in May, the outcry could be heard from space. Trolls angry at seeing women in Battlefield 5 stirs quite a response. Let me ask this. Do you think this woman really knows why people were mad in Battlefield 5 at women? Do you think this person really knows? I think deep down this person really knows why, but ideologically wants to keep her narrative in check. So she's going to ignore the real reason why. So many people have talked about why, but she is ignoring it. There's no way she knows about all this backlash and doesn't know the real reason why. Anyway, particularly under the hashtag #NotMyBattlefield on Twitter, to the point where Oscar Gabrielson, I probably said that wrong, general manager at DICE, had to tweet a response 2 days later to tell people women would be here to stay. Okay, well, do you mean in the context of the Battlefield series as a whole? Or in World War II games? Because obviously, in this game, it's a little too late to go take everything out. But if you're saying in the future, okay, but don't do World War I, World War II games, or historically accurate game, because that's what the fans wanted. That's why they're mad. They wanted a historically accurate Battlefield, and what we got was this mess. And it wasn't a design choice. It was clearly political. They made it very clear. And that's why gamers are mad. They don't want politics shoved in their face when they're just trying to play a fucking game. Anyway, the general manager at DICE, he says his tweet is, first let me be clear about one thing. Player choice and female playable characters are here to stay. Okay, and then his next one. We want Battlefield 5 to represent all those who are a part of the greatest drama in human history and gave players a choice to choose and customize the characters they play with. What fucking disabled women were on the front lines in World War II, especially in Britain? Especially in the British military. I have a friend. He's really big on war history, and we were talking about how this game is just a mess of crap. Were there women in World War II? Yes. Were they on the front lines? No. In the British military, they were pretty strict about not letting women fight. Anyway, she goes on. Later, former chief EA executive Patrick Sutherland said, anyone who didn't like women in Battlefield 5 might as well not buy it. And the gaming industry, or the gaming community, responded,
okay.
And now they're like, why are our pre-order numbers so bad? Why the fuck do you think? You attack your community for giving you feedback that they weren't happy. Good job. Anyway, he says, we stand up for the cause because I think people don't understand it well, have two choices. Either accept it or don't buy the game. And now they're doing that, and now you seem upset by it. And now instead of going, okay, well, I'm not interested in your clearly politically driven game, I'm gonna go buy another game, and then you just call all the gaming community sexist. Gee, I wonder why they don't fucking like you. He said in an interview with Gamasutra, they say, I'm fine with either. Heck, they've even gone as far as now to admit that it's a shame women weren't featured in Battlefield 1, too. Again, it's very clear this is politically driven. And to my knowledge, there were women in Battlefield 1, and they were used in context, and nobody complained. So I think that goes to show you that people didn't bitch about women in Battlefield 1 because there was context, which women were actually there at that point in time in this area they were talking about. However, people are mad in this one, and they seem to get the idea. Their narrative is, Gamers must not like women. It's like the truth is right in front of them, but they just don't want to see it. They just choose not to. They have a fucking narrative and they have to stick by it. Now this woman goes on. Now obviously as a female gamer, it's refreshing to see so many game developers working on improving diversity across the board. There's improving diversity and then there's forced diversity. And this is forced diversity for ideological reasons in a series that has always been known for being historically accurate for the most part, and now identity politics is infesting it. And look what's happening. There are tons of military shooters where you can play as a woman, and it doesn't bother anybody. But until I got to play Battlefield 5 as a woman, I just didn't realize how powerful it could be in practice. The fuck does that even mean? Alright, I'll go on. At Gamescom, I got to play the game's multiplayer mode, Conquest, on the new Rotterdam map, which was beautiful. Yet
so brutal!
The recreation of Amsterdam in mid-World War II, I spawned into the map directly not realizing that my entire squad was made up of women. Yeah, that's a big deal for you, ain't it? On paper, that might not sound like anything special, because it's not, but the way Battlefield 5 integrates her character, it really makes a difference. Okay? Let's see what you mean. Like in previous Battlefield games, when you were downed in multiplayer, you have two choices: wait for a revive or simply bleed out. But this time around, there's a twist on that option. While you wait there bleeding out, you can actually call for a revive, and you'll hear out your character yell for help. Wow, it's so fucking original, isn't it? I don't know a single fucking game where you can do that. Jesus Christ, I play Wildlands frequently. Oh look, there's a female character that has a voice when you revive her. So powerful, so unique. Oh, go on. Hearing a very British female accent scream for help, saying she's dying and needs someone now desperately, is a seriously affecting moment. Not acknowledging other female characters in war shooters that call for help too. I'm immediately thinking of, immediately my mind went to Anya from Gears of War 3. I don't know why, that was my first one. That could be me lying there in World War II, Rotterdam, blood pooling on the cobbled streets. Actually me. British woman me, and that makes the entire Battlefield 5 experience even more intense. No, you wouldn't be lying there because you wouldn't be allowed to fight. Sorry, that's the historical truth. Even when just running along, hearing a woman breathing heavily heightened the immersion. Bruh, there are so many games that have this. I am convinced that this woman doesn't play games and is just an ideologue, because if this is your first experience with that, you don't play games. Like, for real. Seriously? Hearing female voices cry out over the tank rails, grenades, and gunfire is an insane experience, something like in Battlefield. Watching your avatar gunned down and lying prone as a woman is almost humbling, regardless of whether I'm playing as a British or German female soldier. Why do you fucking care so much? It's just, you just care because it's women. I don't hear you saying, oh, it's so immersive when I see men lying there bleeding out and calling for help. No, it's just women. That's the real immersion thing. I've been playing Battlefield titles and other major FPS titles like Call of Duty for a long time, and yes, of course, this isn't the first multiplayer-focused FPS to put women in game, but you sure do fucking act like it, don't you? Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and the upcoming Black Ops 4 both feature female operators, as do a lot of shooters. But the thing is, a lot of those aren't historically accurate games. They are in the future. They are fantasy. They are made up. All you want. And it doesn't break the immersion because this is something that hasn't happened yet. And we have progressed since World War II. And you're more likely to see women doing certain things in the military. As does Rainbow Six Siege and, of course, Destiny in various shapes and forms. Are you comparing a World War II game to Destiny? Okay. Yeah, you play games. I'm sure you do. In various shapes and forms of femininity. Why do I have a feeling this is a woman who bitches that there aren't enough fat chicks in games? Or dyke-looking women. Alright. But the amazing sound inherent in Battlefield 5 changes the way you feel playing as a female character. You're not just a female form, but closer to a living, breathing woman who feels pain and gets killed That's as you would with male avatars, but we don't talk about them because we don't care. For previously, I honestly had no idea what kind of difference it would make for me as a player. You bring up Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, I am a huge Wildlands fan. They have this. They have everything you're talking about here in the female characters. Why aren't you this is so right, because people are backlashing about it and it can help your narrative of gamers hate the women's. Let's be honest, that's what matters for you. The rest is sort of irrelevant. So let's go on to the next one. This one's much shorter, so it'll be quicker. Battlefield 5 developers wish they'd included women in Battlefield 1 2. Battlefield 1 TOO. Yeah, that sounds confusing. DICE faced a dumb, but not entirely unexpected backlash for including women in the latest installment of Battlefield series. Okay, why do I have a feeling they think the unexpected or not unexpected backlash was because the gamers hate the women's and not that this is historically bullshit and people have been asking for a World War II historically accurate game from DICE for a very long time. Now, Alexander Grondel, executive producer at DICE, has declared his wish that the team added women in 2016's Battlefield 2, explaining that it's not just about following a trend. Yes, it is. He is lying through his teeth. It is an identity politics trend. It is a social justice trend. Cut the shit. I mean, if we're getting on the bandwagon, I created Battlefield 1 and we could have jumped on the bandwagon that time around. You know, I think it's a shame we didn't add women because that perhaps it would have been better for us. No, I think people would have got annoyed, but you did put women in and you put it in a very good contextual way, so nobody fucking cared. Why don't you understand this? What you really mean here is we didn't shove identity politics in your face this time around. And good, your game probably would have flopped if you did. If you take a look at Battlefield historically, it's always been about expressing yourself through gameplay. I've played Battlefield for a while. I didn't get that in the sense of customizing a character, solving problems the way you want, and these characters fall perfectly in line with that thinking. Grondel was tactful in his response to the misplaced outrage too. Why is it that explaining that why it was key to Battlefield 5 formula? Of course, anytime that someone is upset about some choices that you make in the game, it's not great. There's a difference in what kind of choices you make. People have no problem with playing women. It's the context in which you used it people have the problem with. And you don't get that. It's not what you want to do. You want to create a game that's best for all our players. That being said, we decided to make a game that involved personalizing a character, creating your own company of soldiers that thought it was right to you and to be whoever you wanted to be in that context. Then don't make a World War II game! It's not hard! We stand by that. I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it's the right thing for us as a franchise. It takes a good bit of balancing. It takes a good bit of social justice. Anyway, those are the two. I'm gonna cut it there. Oh my fucking god, though. I am so sick. DICE, what happened to you? Why do you get bullied by these far left ideologues? Especially people who clearly aren't gonna play your game and just want to make sure that a community is living by their rule set, even though they're not part of that community. Anyway, my boys, stay safe. Don't get shot. I'll see y'all later.